Coming up on the center of it all, we went to visit a gallery that features around 50 local artists, and we show you a new app to help make your life easier. Don't go anywhere, it's all right here on the center of it all. Good morning, and thank you for joining me on the center of it all. Everywhere you look in the gallery on Pike Street, you'll see art of every style. And the best part, all the artists are local.
We also try to keep a balance of the pottery, the art that's on the wall, the fiber, the glass.
Just to name a few items offered at the gallery shop, which has been around since 1970. It was originally downtown with about 30 people involved, but in 1989 it moved to the building it's in today on Pike Street and has grown to include around 50 extremely talented, all local artists.
These artists who are local are also in national shows, have gotten national awards, and so we feel very confident that the work here is good and comparable to what you'll find in the big cities nearby, where you will pay much more.
High quality for a better price. Most artists come from central Pennsylvania and the surrounding areas of Centre County.
It's interesting to the customer if they can find something that is very, very local.
Not just local, but unique as well, like pictures of the Penn State Nittany Lion.
I think it's very important for people to purchase something handmade, locally made, and something that is unique. You cannot find the items that you find here in any other store. You cannot buy it online. I mean, they are all locally artists, and it's good craftsmanship and good artists here.
But you can do more than just purchase artwork at this shop. Every month, 1 to 2 artists are featured in the atrium, and on some Saturdays there are demos offered so you can see just how the artwork is created.
It's a good way for the artists to get their name out, and we always have people in the community that are interested in their work. They are interested in making a connection with the people who makes the art and crafts, and also to see the process and to ask questions. So it feeds both.
And for some artists, their art is a way for them to bring people closer together.
I have to tell you, it feels great. I feel like I'm a part of a greater community, and I'm very proud of having the opportunity to exhibit my work here and to sell. I put a lot of heart and soul into everything I do, and when I hear that a customer picks my pieces and they talk about it and say they love it and would like to give it to someone else, that makes me happy.
And they are told by some that this is their go-to place.
By customers that we hope you stay here, because if you stop selling, we don't know where to go. And as I said, it's a unique opportunity to get some very unique things. I know that we have repeat customers that always comes looking here first when they are looking for gifts.
But don't worry, the shop isn't going anywhere anytime soon. They plan on showcasing their love of art and their love for central Pennsylvania for a long time.
I think it's a wonderful thing that we have here, and the artists are in wonderful hands. We have a wonderful manager, and right now things are good.
Everyone has a certain skill, and I think that everyone is trying to put their best in the shop. So I'm very happy to be a part of.
For this month, the atrium features painting and pottery. When we come back, we take a look at one theater that has more to give than just a good movie. Welcome back. One building, one movie screen, a lot of history. The Rollins Theater in downtown Phillipsburg has been serving its community for almost 100 years. We went to visit the building and see what's kept it up and running.
The doors open on June 4th, so the actual 100-year anniversary will be June 4th, 2017, but we plan to make it a year-long celebration. It is very exciting. It's a great time to be on the board. We have been meeting. Like I said, we want to have a year-long celebration.
That celebration includes an orchestra playing original scores to silent movies while they play, and the big birthday celebration the day the theater hits 100 years. A big celebration for a one-of-a-kind movie theater.
As far as we know, we have the largest silver screen in central Pennsylvania. Silver screen's kind of nostalgic. I think other movie theater screens are not silver screens, so it's a very large screen.
Now the screen may be updated, but there's still a lot of original personality in the building.
It is, there's a lot of original parts left of the theater. There were some renovations, but we have a section of seats, we have a balcony. There's a section of seats at the top. There's a lower part of the balcony and a top part. The top part of the balcony has the original 1917 seats. There's dressing rooms underneath the stage. I mean, they're the original dressing rooms. I mean, for the most part, this is the original building. There's been updated painting. I mean, the marble around here is still the same. The windows above the concession stand are the original. Stained glass windows there, the brass railings. I mean, most of it is the original. When you walk through the doors, what you're seeing is very similar to what you would have seen 100 years ago. The theater's on the National Register of Historic Places, so it is a historical landmark. The fact that it is still open and in operation 100 years later, that's quite a testament. I think it's Phillipsburg's best tourist attraction. People do come from out of town here, so I think it's just an important landmark for Phillipsburg. I love every part of this theater.
And she isn't the only one. This theater has an entire community supporting it.
The community's great. People are nostalgic for the Roland Theater. I mean, people that move away, when they come back, they want to come here. They have nothing but good things to say about their memories of growing up here because it's been here 100 years. If you've lived in this area, you do have a memory of the Roland Theater. And I love to ask people, what's the first movie you remember seeing here? And people always remember, like there's that one movie that they remember coming as a young person. So it brings a lot of joy to people, a lot of memories for people.
And the board doesn't want those memories or the theater to go away.
It's important to keep history alive for people so you don't lose your past. There's not a lot of places that you can say that are 100 years old, a business that you can still go in and be a part of. And so I think it's just very important to keep that past alive.
And how will they do that? By restoring the front of the theater to its original look.
One of the biggest renovation projects being done in our lifetime at this theater. We are going to be restoring the marquee to its original 1917 size and structure. In 1917, the marquee was made of glass and copper, and it extended out over the curb about 2.5 feet. In 1917, that wasn't a problem. The traffic of 1917 didn't threaten the marquee. So because it's going to be the original size of the 1917 marquee, we are going to extend. We're going to create the Roland Centennial Plaza. So we're going to extend the walkway the entire length of the building out about 6 feet from the current curb. It will be made of engraved bricks. That's how we hope to fund the marquee. We want people to be a part of the Roland Centennial Plaza. The marquee itself, in 1917, the glass marquee had the words "The Roland Theater" on all 3 sides of it. It didn't advertise the movies. The movies back then were put on these big billboards that were on the sidewalk. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing. We're going to put the Roland Theater on it. It won't be the movies. The movies will be advertised on a standing digital sign that will come up from the sidewalk. And it'll be operated by a computer. So that's going to be very modern. So we're going to have this old structure, kind of linking the past to the future even. So we'll have that digital standing marquee on the sidewalk. We'll have the Roland Centennial Plaza. we'll hope to have some period lighting, and then we'll have the glass marquee. It'll be glass and aluminum, and it'll be illuminated underneath with lights, and it'll just make the front of the building beautiful.
Beautiful, and still set it apart as a one-screen movie theater.
A lot of theaters that have an interesting history, like, converted to a multiplex at some point in their history. What's unique about this is we kept it as the single screen. This is what you went to in 1917, and you still come to it like this in 2017. So it does make it for a unique experience.
And they hope that people help by buying bricks, coming to the theater, and enjoying a film surrounded by history.
We just hope the public keeps coming to support us. Our doors remain open because of the people that come through the door. I mean, they've supported us for 100 years. We'd love for them to support us for the next 100 years. Help us restore the marquee, and just help us keep our doors open.
Bricks can be purchased for $100 to help restore the marquee. When we come back, Mel has a small recipe that packs a big punch. Welcome back. Thanks for watching the center of it all. Now, with the hectic back-to-school season here, we have one recipe to help make your dinner prep one less thing to worry about.
My kids are grown and have been out of the house for almost 20 years. While I miss them, I don't miss back-to-school shopping at the mall, packing lunches early in the morning, chauffeuring to and from after-school activities, and between all that, cooking kid-friendly sit-around-the-table-and-chat dinners before homework, TV time, and bed. Join me right here at the stovetop today while I show you how to make one of my family's favorite back-to-school dinners. My mother-in-law, who hailed from Philadelphia, didn't love to cook, but what she did cook was very good. She first served me this stewy soup back in 1972, and she called it pepper pot. It didn't look like much, but it was over the top delicious. It was one of her son's favorite meals, and guess what? 15-20 years later, it was one of her grandson's favorite meals, and now, almost 40 years later, it's one of her great-grandson's favorite meals. I guess we could call this a family tradition. I'm starting with 2.5 pounds of ground meat, and I'm putting it in the bottom of this 8-quart stock pot. Over medium-high heat, I'm just going to break this up a little bit. And as the story goes, Philadelphia pepper pot, in fact, is not made with ground beef. It's made with beef tripe, which is beef stomach. And while that might be a delicacy, and I've tasted it, it's very good, kids don't really like to eat beef stomach. So my mother-in-law explained that when her mom made it, she used to make 2 smaller pots and make one with hamburger for the kids and one with beef tripe for the adults. So we're just going to break up our meat. I'm using 90-10, which is only 10% fat. You really want to stick to that because while you do want some beef juices in this soup, you don't want a lot of fat. So I've got my 2.5 pounds of ground meat, about 1.5 cups of celery, the same with onion, about 1.5 cups of chopped onion, and about 1.5 cups of diced carrots. You don't want to season this. Now is not the time to season it. We're just going to cook this for about 10 minutes, stirring it frequently until the meat is just cooked through. It's not pink anymore, but it's not browned. My meat is just the way I want it. It's sizzling. There's juices in the bottom of the pan, which is perfect. That's a lot of beef flavor. The meat isn't browned. The vegetables are soft. Hope the camera can get a good shot of that. Nothing's browned. It's all cooked through. And now we're going to add our stock, and of course it's beef stock. Now I'm using homemade beef stock from my freezer, but if you want to use store-bought stock, it's just fine, but you're going to have to amp up the flavor a little bit. And I put a teaspoon of thyme, 2 bay leaves, teaspoon of pepper. It's not called pepper pot for nothing. You have to add pepper to it. And we're going to add all 2 quarts of this stock to the pot. You can see all the pepper in the bottom of that. And I'm just going to allow this to return to a simmer, and while I'm waiting, I'm just going to toddle off camera and peel and dice 3 or 4 potatoes. I've peeled and diced about 3 cups of potatoes, 5 potatoes maybe. I'm just going to add them to the simmering liquid. The soup really does have to be simmering when you add the potatoes. These are gold potatoes, but you can use red potatoes as well. They'll work just fine. And I'm going to add about 1/2 cup of parsley. We'll give this a good stir. And when this comes back up to a simmer, we're going to add our noodles. My soup is at a rapid boil, and it's time to add some noodles now. Now, back in the 1950s and 60s, Campbell's marketed a version of pepper pot, and in theirs they added a macaroni product. But in true pepper pot style, which is Philadelphia, because of the Pennsylvania Dutch influence, it's common practice to add egg noodles, and I've got a 12-ounce bag here. And I don't even have to cook them separately. I'm going to cook them right in this soup for about 8 or 9 minutes. I'll taste occasionally till they're just perfectly cooked through, and then we're going to eat. My noodles have been simmering away in my pepper pot for about 10 minutes, and they're really nice and tender, and oh, look at that. It really is good. I wish you could all taste it. So I'm just going to turn the heat off. We'll take this over to the counter and call everybody to eat. Take it from a well-seasoned mom with lots of back-to-school, after-school experience. You only get to raise your kids once. And cooking even the simplest of meals and sitting around the table for 5 minutes, no matter how hectic your schedule or how tired you may be, is perhaps one of the most important lifelong learning experiences you will ever teach your children. For these and all of my recipes, just go to my website.
When we come back, we show you an app to help improve your downtown experience and introduce you to our pet of the show. Do you hate going downtown because you can never find a place to park? One app can now solve that problem for you. One thing that may keep people from visiting downtown State College and many other cities across the country is the hassle of parking. Now, with the help of a new technology, it has never been easier. Park Mobile is an app available on almost every platform that solves the no change issue for those pesky parking meters. Once downloaded, you attach a payment method to your account along with the plate numbers for your vehicle. Park Mobile accepts a variety of payments from credit and debit cards to PayPal and mobile wallets. From there, it's as simple as finding the perfect parking spot. The meter and lots in downtown now have parking codes associated with them. Using the GPS on your phone, the app locates your parking zone and lets you set a time duration for you to park. That's all. Now, you may wonder how enforcement officers know you've paid since the meter will show no payment. Well, your payment, zone number, and plate number will appear on the officer's handheld device. Park Mobile even allows you to adjust your reminders. This means when your meter is about to run out, you'll get a notification and the option to add more time right from the app, in case your errands run a little longer than expected. No more rushing back to your car or digging through the cracks in your seats to find more coins. One of the most helpful features is the Find My Car tab. Once you pay and park, the phone GPS can drop a pin on your car. So if you're in an unfamiliar town or area and can't remember where you parked, the app can give you turn-by-turn directions back to your parked car. You even have the option of leaving a note about where you parked to help you remember. You can search parking areas before you leave. Once you pick an area, your phone's navigation system will direct you to the area you've chosen. Other features are included to help with things like overnight street parking, and you can save your receipts for when you need to be reimbursed if you're on a business trip. Park Mobile is making it easier than ever to have an evening of shopping or dining out downtown without the hassle of worrying if your meter is about to run out. I definitely need the Find My Car feature because I have a habit of parking in the first empty spot I find and can never find my way back. A local baseball team recently won their first Babe Ruth Baseball World Title Series, and they brought the celebration to Mifflin County.
It was a heck of a ride for the squad from Central PA, just one loss during the entire tournament trail, and I told all the guys this has probably been the most pleasure of a team I've had a chance to cover. I've never seen a community rally around a team, and they were ready to go. A team that refused to lose simply during the tournament trail.
We had a bunch of great boys to work with. They worked hard from the first day of practice to the last game against Hawaii. Everybody on the team contributed from player 1 through player 14.
For our pet of the show this week, we met with Center County Paws and a dog who is patiently waiting for her new home.
Thanks, Alicia. Paws' featured pet today is Elaine. Elaine is a mix of a Dog de Bordeaux and a Pit Bull, and despite her large size, she really thinks many times she's a lap dog. She loves to cuddle, she loves her people. She is probably best as the only dog in the home, but she does enjoy the companionship of other dogs. She really needs a child-free home, and she would probably chase kitties. Elaine was rescued from a bad situation. Then she went to another shelter, and then Paws took her in a few months ago. We are a bigger shelter than the one she came from, and we thought she'd have a better chance of finding a forever family here. Despite the fact that she's big, she is still, as I said, a love bug. Many times thinks she's a lap dog, and she would make a great companion to a child-free, cat-free home.
That's all for this week's Center of It All. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.